Yo, what else? Well, champions, it's time for three of the most powerful ways to build generational wealth, even if you're starting from scratch, man. Listen, I know there's some go-getters up this morning watching this video, up after a night of prayer, and you're asking God, what can I do to change the financial legacy of my family? Well, if you do not want to build generational wealth, you need to skip this video, because if you watch, you will have a game plan and you will no longer have excuses. And if your children end up broke, it's going to be your fault. So, got to give you my fair warning right off the top. Three powerful ways and things that you can do right now, starting today, to build generational wealth. But if you don't want generational wealth, if you're one of those people who just like talking about generational wealth but don't want to do nothing to actually go get it, skip this video, because it's going to keep you up at night. I promise you. Janelle, what's going on, my friend? If you really don't want to, if you're not serious about generational wealth, you don't want to watch this video. I'm telling you, because it will keep you up at night. It's going to make you responsible for the information you're about to receive. You're going to have a game plan when I finish with this video. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is H. Cortez, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from myperfectmoneyplan.com. I need you guys to do me a favor. You hear me all the time say, we are past the point where we can hoard information. Guys, don't sit here and get the strategy for yourself. Share this video out right now this morning, because everybody needs to hear this, right? So smash that share button, man. And we're going to go in. If you don't know my mission, man, I'm on a mission to empower people economically through financial literacy with an emphasis on personal brand development and entrepreneurship. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you already have a business, drop the name of your business and or your brand. Priscilla, hello from New Jersey. Richard Kemp, Grand Rising, my friend. Listen, smash the share button. We can't afford to hoard information. So, three things that you could do to build generational wealth. Number one, and I'm talking about things that you can do right now to guarantee that your next generation will have some wealth. First thing you have to do is understand the 5 critical steps to building wealth, right? So number one, you first have to define what generational wealth means to you. Janelle out of Lafayette, Louisiana. You have to first define, what does generational wealth mean? For me, I'm laying the foundation tactically, practically, and principally for my family to have so much wealth that they literally can never go broke. So you have to define what generational wealth means to you first and foremost. Number two, you actually have to decide that you're going to go and make it happen, right? See, people think that generational wealth just happens. People think that you just stumble on a good job and then you put money in a 401k. And no, man, you have to actually decide that you're going to build generational wealth, right? Then you have to draw out a plan to get you there. And I'm going to give you the 3 most powerful ways to build generational wealth. You have to draw out a plan to get you there. That's the third thing. We're talking about the 5 critical steps first, because the mindset has to be one conducive for building wealth. Number 3, you have to draw out a plan. Number 4, you have to discipline yourself to execute the plan, right? I remember as a youth basketball coach, I remember we were in a game, in a tournament somewhere, and I drew up the perfect play. I think the game was tied. The team we were playing had gained the momentum. They had caught up and tied the game. And last thing you want to do as a coach is go into overtime with a team that has stolen the momentum, right? So we got fouled. sideline out of bounds play. I drew up the perfect play. Some of you guys know basketball a little bit. And I said, listen, the way they've been playing defense to get them back in the game, they've been switching every pick. So I chose to have my guard down at the block closest to our basket. And I said, my big man, my forward, big guy, I said, you're going to go down, you're going to set a screen for the guard, and he's going to pop up to get the ball. But because they're switching everything, they're going to actually switch the pick, meaning you're going to have the small point guard guarding you, and you're right there by the basket. You got a foot height advantage. You don't have to turn around and pump fake. You don't have to just turn around and shoot the ball, right? Play happened exactly as we drew it up. We ran down. He set the screen on my point guard. They switched the pick. He's got the equivalent of a midget guarding him in basketball. Back in my day, we would say, we got a mouse in the house, right? Throw that mug in here. We throw the ball into him. He turns around and misses the layup. Guys, we end up going into overtime, but we won the game. We won the game. We regained the momentum. But you got to discipline yourself to execute the game plan. I mean, I'm going to give you a game plan right now. And if you don't have the discipline to execute it, I promise you, you're going to live with regret the rest of your life, man. And nobody wants their kids growing up in poverty. Number 5, you've got to disassociate yourself from anybody that refuses to help or support you on your journey. So you don't always have to help me. I'm a go-getter, man. I don't solicit the help from a lot of people, right? But if you're not at least supportive, you got to get some gone, man. You got to get some gone away from around me and my family if you can't at least support me on this journey. So those are 5 critical steps. You got to define what generational wealth means to you. You got to decide that this is something you're going to go get. And when you decide what you're going to do, you also decide what you're not going to do. So for me, deciding to build generational wealth means I can't spend 12 hours a week watching football. I can't spend 10 hours a week watching basketball. I'm a youth basketball coach. I love basketball, right? But when you decide what you're going to do, by default, you also decide what you're not going to do, right? So the first thing that you could do to start building generational wealth is go get yourself some life insurance, man. Go get yourself some life insurance. Now, there's 2 types of life insurance. There's term and then there's permanent. A lot of people will say buy term and invest the difference. But when you understand whole life insurance, especially with a mutual company and your policy is structured for cash, they call that infinite banking. They call that infinite banking because your policy isn't built for death benefit right out of the gate. In fact, if you build it right, your permanent policy will have a term policy built right in. So if something happens to you immediately within the first 10 years, then your family will have burial money. Your family will have certain bills paid off, the mortgage and that kind of thing. But the permanent life insurance policy with a mutual company that's structured for cash is the greatest wealth building tool on the planet. Why? Because as you're covering your loved ones, as you're covering yourself with insurance, you're also building access to capital, right? You're building access to capital that you can actually put your hands on. See, unlike a 401k or other traditional investments, you're putting that money to the side, but you lose access to it. If you do permanent whole life with a mutual company that pays dividends and it's structured for cash, you can actually put your hands on that money when you need it, right? How many times, and I need y'all to talk to me on this, how many times have you seen an opportunity? I'm talking about not some old get rich quick scheme, not some old wild cockamamie. I'm talking about a serious opportunity, like somebody's being foreclosed on a $200,000 property, and if you had 30,000, you can go and get it right now. If somebody, right? If somebody was foreclosed on the property, it's worth 200 grand, and you can buy it outright if you had 30. How many people have seen deals like that? And the only thing that stopped you, you got the ambition, you got the vision, you can see it, you know what a good deal looks like. You just don't have access to the 30 grand, right? Yeah, Queen says borrow your own cash, right? So now you're building something that's going to be passed down to the next generation, but you also have access to the cash if an amazing deal crosses your plate, right? So, number one way that you can start building generational wealth today, talk to someone about some insurance, whether it's term. Term is going to allow you to have wealth passed down to your children after you die. Permanent whole life with a mutual company that pays dividends, structured for cash. That's called infinite banking. You guys might want to go grab the book, Becoming Your Own Bank by R. Nelson Nash. Great resource for that. If you want to talk to someone, I'm not an insurance agent, guys, but I do have some in my circle. If you want to talk to someone about that specifically, then comment infinite banking, and I'll make sure I put you in touch with somebody that can help you. Is this my street? I think this is my street. Comment infinite banking. I'll put you in touch with somebody that can, give you a serious assessment, give you all the details. I just gave you a high level overview, right? Because with infinite banking, say for instance, I built my cash value up in my policy to where I had $50,000 in there, right? Say for instance, I built my policy up to when I had $50,000 in there. I could borrow $20,000 to go make an investment, but I'm still earning interest on $50,000. See, this is something that we're not taught. I could borrow. I got $50,000 in my cash value, and it's growing at a decent rate of return. I could borrow $20,000 from myself, then turn around and but when I borrow the 20, I'm still earning interest on the entire 50. It's crazy, right? That's one way. So we've got to get some insurance, people, for many reasons. But not having insurance is one of the fastest ways to get people into generational poverty, right? Because you're going to leave, you die, your income dies with you. Most of us don't have residual or passive income. So our income dies when we die, right? Meaning if you married and your wife can't pay the mortgage by herself, that's going to send her on a downward spiral financially, right? So number one is life insurance. Number two, investing in mutual funds. Now, watch this. I am not licensed to tell you what to do with your money. The financial health mentor is all I do is tell you about wealth building strategies, but I don't have a license. That ain't what I do. I market financial strategies and information. So I want that to be clear that I'm not a licensed financial advisor or a financial planner. I just study wealthy people, and I have a lot of wealthy people in my circle And because I don't hoard information, when they tell me a strategy, I apply the strategy, I get the results that they tell me, I tell y'all, right? That's just how I am. So how many of you guys know about the rule of 72? How many of you guys know about the rule of 72? The rule of 72 is a formula that Einstein came up with, and it basically tells you in the investing world how long it takes your money to double. So the rule of 72 says you're going to take whatever interest rate you're getting on your money, you're going to divide that into 72, and that's going to tell you how long it takes your money to double. So if you, for instance, have a bank account and all of your money is just being saved in a savings account, right? That savings account is paying you 1%. How long is it going to take you your money to double? How long is it going to take your money to double? Well, let's follow the rule of 72. We take 1%, which is our interest rate. We divide that into 72, and we get 72. So it's going to take 72 years for our money to double, right? I want you to think about that. So I feel like I have probably adulted this year. Right. I know that's right. I got my life insurance through my financial advisor. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's like we got to get our grown man on, our grown woman on, right? So the rule of 72 says if you take your 1% interest that you're getting at your bank, you divide that into 72, it's going to take 72 years for your money to double, right? Now, we hear this quote, and I'm going to say something that's probably going to make y'all mad, but we hear people talk all the time about the rich getting richer. And usually when that's said, it's said with a negative respect to poor people, as if the rich get richer by causing poor people to get poorer. That's not it, y'all. Listen, the rich get richer because they understand the money game. It's not that they do anything malicious against or towards poor people. I want y'all to hear me on this. And you guys got to be careful with how you feel about rich people. And here's why. Your subconscious mind will never allow you to become that which you despise. Yeah, I'm gonna run that one back for you. I want to make sure you get it. Your subconscious mind will never allow you to become that which you despise. See, some of you guys hate rich people, but you're on here trying to learn how to build generational wealth and become rich. Your subconscious mind is saying, if he hates rich people, if she hates rich people, and she associates with nothing but people who also hate rich people, if we become rich, then the people we hang around are going to hate us. So we're not going to allow that to happen. That's what your subconscious mind is telling you right now as you're trying to learn to become wealthy, and at the same time you hate wealthy people. I want y'all got to get that. Most wealth building starts in your mind and in your mindset. I want y'all to get that, man. If you despise wealthy people for taking advantage of the same laws that you could take advantage of, for taking advantage of the same opportunities that are here for you to take advantage of, if you despise wealthy people, your subconscious mind will never let you become one of them. So the second thing that you could do to build wealth is start investing some of your money. I need somebody to put this in the comments for me so that everybody gets this. Fidelity.com. Now, Some of you guys have heard of Fidelity. Some of you guys even invest with Fidelity and you don't even know it. Why? Because they handle most 401ks throughout the US, right? FidelityInvestments.com. We were talking about the rule of 72. We were talking about the rule of 72. If you are on your 401k, anybody know how much interest they're getting on their investments right now? Anybody know? What are you getting from your investments right now? Interest rate. The average 401k is returning 4%. The average 401k is returning 4%. So if we take 4% and we put that into 72, we get 18. That means your money is going to double every 18 years. Here's what wealthy people do on the other side. On the other hand, wealthy people know how to get 12% rate of return. Wealthy people know how to get 18% rate of return. If we put 18% into 72, then wealthy people's money is doubling every 4 years. This is what we have to understand about the investment game. Guys, every 4 years. So if a wealthy person today has $100,000 in their account and they're getting 18% return, that wealthy person's money in 4 years is going to be 200,000, right? And 8 years is going to be 400,000. And 12 years is going to be 800,000. And 16 years is going to be $1.6 million. Wealthy people don't have to mistreat poor people to get richer. They understand how to play the game, y'all. Why did I say Fidelity.com? I said, I've been there hating rich people. Of course, I was broke back then. Wealthy people are not hiding information. Many of them are so willing to teach and share information. They like talking about money, and that's how we learn. Man, let me put that up on the screen. You are so right about that. So the reason I mentioned Fidelity.com, guys, because in the past, there have been barriers to slow down our ability to gain wealth. Not stop us. Nothing has ever stopped us from getting wealth beyond getting out of slavery. There was a lot of Jim Crowism and that kind of stuff. That really slowed us down. But today, the only thing that slowed us down is our consumer habits, right? But most investment companies that sell mutual funds and ETFs and investment vehicles, they usually have minimums, right? And those minimums start at anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. Poor people don't have that to invest. You know what Fidelity did? Fidelity said, listen, we've got all of these apps out here allowing people to buy fractional shares, Robinhood, stashes, and all of that kind of stuff. You know what Fidelity said? Listen, we're going to remove minimums from our vocabulary. Now, some of you guys don't know what that means and how powerful that is. I had a mentor by the name of Ivy Stokes, and very, very successful investor, business owner. And he taught me how to go to Fidelity.com and look at their mutual funds to assess what the top rates are and how this thing works. And if you go to Fidelity.com right now, you're going to see that they have zero minimums. That means they don't have a minimum amount for you to open up an account. They don't have a minimum account for a minimum amount that you have to contribute monthly. They don't have a minimum amount that you have to have in your account. They don't have a minimum amount that you have to invest with. You can literally open up your investment account today with $0. If you go to Fidelity.com and you open an account, look for, and I'm doing this from memory, so I don't really know. Look for, when you open an account, they have something called a 3-in-1 account or something, where you open a checking, savings, and a brokerage account at the same time, right? It's dope. So, and everybody in America, if you want to build wealth through the markets, you have to have a brokerage account, right? So you can set up all three of them at the same time, even if you don't have any money today. Now, you will eventually have to put some money in it because they can't just manage a bunch of zero accounts, right? So you will have to fund the account at some point. But watch this. If you go look at their mutual funds, and let me say my disclaimer again, I should have had it flashing on the screen. I am not a licensed investor. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I don't have the authority granted to me by the Securities and Exchange Commission to do that. That's not what this is. What this is me informing you on what you should be asking your licensed financial advisor. See, sometimes we have these people in our lives, but we don't know what to ask them. Ask them, why the heck you don't have me in a Fidelity mutual fund that's averaging 15% for the last 40 years? Ask them that if you got a financial advisor. But if you go to fidelity.com, I want you to look at, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, if I were you, I would go and look at mutual funds. When you go into mutual funds, you're going to see something that says, see our fund offerings. Right. And this is all of the funds that they offer. And this is not just Fidelity, guys. This is across the board. But Fidelity is the only one that I know of that has removed the minimums. Right. You can go to Vanguard. You can go to Charles Schwab. But most of them still have minimums in place. You got to have 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 to get into some of the higher return funds. Fidelity said, man, listen, you got $10, you want to open an account and you want that $10 to go into this mutual fund where you're getting 15% rate of return, then we're going to give you 15% a year on your $10. So why is that so significant? Because if you understand about continuing contributions, right? When you go and look at their fund offerings, they have you want to break it up by sector, right? Look at the different sectors. And I want you to, if I were you, I would look at 3 sectors right now. I would look at telecom and communications, information technology, right? That is your Googles, your Apples, your Facebooks, and all of that kind of stuff, right? I believe that fund is kicking out about 12%, a little over 12% right now. Now, if we go back to the rule of 72, what does that 12% say? It says 72 divided by 12 is 6. That means the money that I'm putting into that fund is doubling every 6 years. When is the last time you seen your 401k double? I'll wait. So if you got a child that is in the womb right now, right? In the womb right now. And you take this seriously and you say, man, all of the money that I told everybody to not bring us a single thing for the baby other than cash, right? And say you are in a good circle and between everybody that blessed you for the baby shower, they brought you cash. They didn't buy you no stroller. They didn't say, listen, I'm going to use a credit card for that stuff. Don't worry about that. Bring me the cash. They borrow cash and say that's $5,000. And then you got your own $5,000 saved up. The baby is cooking in the oven, right? You got your own $5,000 saved up. And then everybody, instead of buying you stuff, instead of throwing you a baby shower, you told your best friend, no, just go solicit cash from everybody I know because I'm going to start an investment for my baby. Now you got another $5,000 from the gifts. Now you got $10,000 in this Fidelity account. Watch this. Watch this. 12% means every 6 years. Baby comes out. Baby is 6 years old, and that 10,000 has already doubled to 20. Boom, we rolling. Baby turns 12 years old. That 20,000 has now doubled to 40. Baby turns 18 years old. That 40,000 is now 80. Now, the temptation is, man, I'm going to take that 80 and I'm going to use that to pay for college for my kids. Man, listen, if I get accused of being a scam artist all the time because I'm in network marketing. I believe in network marketing as a viable business opportunity. So people always say, man, you scamming people because you in MLM. Yeah, I want to, in my opinion, right? college is one of the biggest scams on the planet. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying higher education is a scam. I'm saying the way the college system is set up, that is the biggest scam on the planet, right? But we can talk about that offline another day. Maybe I'll give you my full thoughts on that. So your temptation is to take the 80 grand and pay for college. No, man. No. Your kid want to go to college, make them pay for college. If you don't have any other investments to the side to pay for college, go ahead and take out a small loan and send them to community college where you don't have to borrow $80,000 a year, right? Because the kid is 18 and now they are $80,000 richer. Kid turns 24. That 80 has now doubled to 160. Kid is 30. That 60 is now $320,000. At 60, at 30 years old, the kid has $320,000. At 36, that's $640,000. At 42, your kid has $1.2 million to pass down to his kids. Now, watch this, y'all. That was all from a single $10,000 one-time investment. That was not continuing contribution. What if you put the initial $10,000 in there and you took your tax refund every year, that $4,000 or $5,000, and you put that in there too? Come on, man. You want to build generational wealth? Look into Fidelity. That's the second thing. The third thing, and most of y'all really don't want to hear this, is you start a home-based business. The third way to really start building generational wealth is to start a home-based business. Here's why a home-based business can put you on a path to building generational wealth. Even though you now know about Fidelity, most of you are saying, Cortez, that's some great information, but bro, I'm literally check to check. I couldn't squeeze a dime out after I pay all of my bills to put money into Fidelity. Well, here's why. Because you're being overtaxed right now. You're being overtaxed because you don't play the game according to the way the country is set up, right? This country is set up for business people, by business people, to benefit business people. If you don't have a business in America, you might as well be a foreigner in your own country. Yeah, I said what I said, right? People don't like me to talk about that, right? If you don't start a business in America, you might as well be a foreigner in your own country. But here's what happens when you start a home-based business, right? Now, of course, you can join me. I do have a business and we teach you all of this stuff. That's our actual business, right? Financial services and financial education. That is our business. But it doesn't matter what business you start, whether it's a network marketing, direct sales, you want to be a real estate agent, you want to be a social media influencer, you write books, you write plays, you make jewelry, you bake cookies. Just turn it into a legitimate business. Because when you turn it into a legitimate business, here's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to go into your HR department and say, hey, how do I access my tax withholding certificate? Right? What is your tax withholding certificate? It's the Form W-4 that your employer uses to determine how much money to withhold from your paycheck. When you are a business owner and you put that on the form, automatically your taxes come down. I've seen people get anywhere from $300 to $600 per month back in their paycheck based on starting a home-based business. Now, the key is to avoid what's called lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is when you get some extra money coming in, you increase your lifestyle to match your money. Happens all the time, man. You get a raise on a job, now all of a sudden you say, man, I can afford that new car I've always wanted. You get a raise on a job, you say, man, now I can get out of this apartment and go ahead and buy me a house, right? I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what happens. And that's why most people are negative in their cash flow. What is your cash flow? That is the difference between your income and all of your expenses. That amount that's left over, that's called cash flow. Most people have no cash flow, right? Because lifestyle creep, they bring their lifestyle up to match every dime of income that they have coming in. So what you need to do is when you start a home-based business, and say you go to your HR department and that results in you getting an extra $300 per month back into your household. Don't increase your lifestyle. That is now $300 a month that you can put in Fidelity every month. That's $300 a month that you can put in the infinite banking every month. That's $300 a month that you can use to build an emergency fund if you don't have one. That's $300 a month you can use to pay down some debts to increase your cash flow further, so you got even more money to invest. Right? Then eventually, whatever your business you start, you're going to get good at it, right? So now you're going to start making some extra money, and that's cool, right? And then after that, you take all of that money and you start building your investments, ladies and gentlemen. That's the name of the game. 3 powerful ways that you could build generational wealth starting today. And most people say, well, Cortez, how much does it cost to join your program? It's $228 to get started, and then $119 per month, which are all tax deductible. But the average person that works with me in their first 30 to 60 days will earn anywhere from $150 to $600 per month in guaranteed residual income. It's amazing, amazing, guys. And our business is to teach you this stuff. You're going to get enrolled agents and tax professionals to help you with your tax withholding certificate. They're going to help you write off your lifestyle. You're going to get credit repair specialists that's going to help you improve your credit. You're going to get debt elimination specialists to help you allocate your money to get you out of debt. You're going to get wealth strategists to help you set up your private reserve bank account so that you can grow your money with life insurance, guys. You're going to get all that included, and you're going to get paid for sharing financial tips and strategies on social media. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got a bunch of templates and videos already for you. I'll show you how to share that stuff on social media. People are going to come to you and say, hey, how can I be a part of what you do? That's what it is, right? It's too easy to make and control your own money. Even if someone feels like they can't be an entrepreneur, there's money you can make just by using existing systems. Even driving Lyft, Grubhub counts as a home-based business. Abso-freaking-lutely. And watch this. If you're driving, is there anybody on here driving Lyft or Uber or Grubhub? I'm gonna give you some game right here, right now. I'm just trying to see something. I thought somebody called me out in a message. I want to make sure, because my mentor is getting ready to do a live presentation. In fact, if you want to see our game plan, then you can see that here. I'm going to do a watch party here in a second. But anybody here driving Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, any delivery service? I just want to know, if you are, just say yes. I drive on all those, because here's the deal. I'm going to give you some game right now that can put $12,400 per year back into your household if you have children. If you're driving Uber, Lyft, say yes, I drive. And then if you have children under age 17, list the number of children you have under age 17. I'm gonna give you this game, then I got to run into the store because I've got to get some bananas and some vanilla wafers for this banana pudding that I'm putting together. Do you drive for any delivery service, Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, Postmasters, any of that stuff? And do you have children under age 17? All right, Tony Johnson said yes. I drive for all those platforms. Left my job last year. Okay, watch this. When you have children under age 17 and you have a home-based business, Uber, driving rideshare does count as a home-based business. Did you guys know you can hire your children to work in your home-based business and pay them up to $12,000 per year per child and write that off of your earnings from Uber and Lyft? And people say all the time, well, Cortez, what kind of job can my kid do? Listen, you drive Uber and Lyft. You have a vehicle that needs to be maintained and cleaned and vacuumed and washed. Put your kids to work as your vehicle maintenance technician. And all that means is before you go out and ride and do your driving, they have to go out to your car and they have to make sure that all of your personal stuff is out of the car. They have to go and run the vacuum over the car. They have to go and put the air fresheners in the car and make the car nice. If the car hasn't had a wash in a little bit, then they go ahead and run the hose on the car. And now you're paying them to be your vehicle maintenance technician. How much does an average car wash cost in your city? Right? If the average car wash in your city costs $30, then you can pay your child up to that $30 per car wash. Right? I'm just saying, man. And you can write that off on your taxes. Let me get in this store, man. I didn't mean to be on here for no 42 minutes. But if you guys got value from this, man, do me a huge favor, hit the share button. If you want to learn about our home-based business, comment home-based business, and I'm going to put some information in the content, in the comments right here. Let's see. If you go to www.incomeisyourOutcome.com, password EDM 10K. If you go to that website and you put in that password at 9:25 Central Time, you're going to be able to access a private webinar where we're going to show you how our home-based business works. And if it's a good fit for you, great. If it's not, that's cool too, man. Man, listen, whether you start a home-based business with me, whether you started with somebody else, every hardworking American needs a home-based business so that you can save some of that 30% in taxes that you're paying to the government, right? It's that simple, right? I want to know more about infinite banking and fidelity trading. I got you, Priscilla. I got you, right? And what we do is we use a home-based business to help people free up the cash flow so that they can flow that into their investing. And then like me, one of the bonuses that I get from my home-based business is a $500 a month car bonus. Well, guess what? That whole $500 bonus goes into my investments every month. So we're helping people create more cash flow in the home-based business space. And then we're helping them understand what to do with that cash flow to build generational wealth. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Smash that share button, man. All of you guys that are commenting home-based business, if you're commenting infinite banking, once I get back and settle, I'm going to send you all that information, turn you on to the people that you need to be turned on to so that you can start your wealth building process. Till next time, get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. I hustle up.